All right, Commissioner, we're now live on YouTube and Facebook. You have the floor.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I want to welcome you to the meeting of the Audit Committee of the Public Building Commission of Chicago held today, September the 3rd, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. at the Richard J. Daley Center. Executive Director Gitteroff, please call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Whitley,
Here.
Commissioner Randall.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. The first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes for the meeting held on June 25, 2025.
Move to approve.
Second. Motion is approved. The next item on the agenda is public participation. In accordance with the Open Meetings Act, registered speakers will be allowed 2 minutes to provide comments. Are there any public?
There are no speakers today, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next item on the agenda is report by the Director of Procurement, James Borkman. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Today I have one report for the Audit Committee, and this involves our audit firm.
Yes.
As you know, the current auditor, Deloitte, is no longer performing audit functions for government entities. As a result, we wanted to make sure we left ample time for a transition. And on July 16th, we issued a request for proposals for audit services at the PBC. We wanted that request for proposals, working with the Director of Finance and other information we had available, to be very specific to the needs of the PBC being such a unique entity. As such, we advertised extensively. We held a pre-submission conference, which was well attended. And as a result, we were very pleased to see we had 4 firms, all of which were initially deemed capable, respond. That response was so robust. We went through, the evaluation committee determined that 3 of the firms should be interviewed.
Okay.
So I'd like to briefly tell you a little bit about our qualification and criteria that was utilized to determine the initial round, and then what we asked about what we asked of each of the 3 that we chose to interview.
Thank you.
So first, the 4 firms were Cherry Beckert, LLP, Clifton Larson Allen, LLP, Crow, LLP, and Macias, Genie, and O'Connell, LLP, all of which very large firms. The evaluation committee on the initial pass, as was listed in the request for proposals, focused especially on the qualifications, experience, and key personnel that was going to be available to the audit committee and to the PBC more generally. They also wanted a focus and a detailed explanation of the firm's project approach. You're going to be coming in new. What does this transition look like? How can we assist our finance department and our executive director and the audit committee to ensure that the audit services provided are seamless? We wanted to know their past performance. We undertook a reference review. We called a number of different references, all of which came back glowing. As you will sometimes be surprised, people don't check their own references, and surprises do occur. This time, everybody was above board. We also wanted to know about their pricing. And last, and certainly not least, actually one of the most important at the PBC and one of the legacies here is we wanted to know, what is your minority and women business commitment for this professional service agreement? After that initial evaluation, 3 of the firms were deemed highly qualified and fully responsive, but we still would like to interview them to go over some more details based on what the audit committee had asked in the past of the incumbent. As a result, we asked Cherry Beckert, Clifton Larson Allen, and Crow to each spend 30 minutes presenting and then engage in a 30-minute Q&A with the evaluation committee. The specific areas we asked them to focus on in their presentation were the transition plan, detail it out for us, and we gave them an initial timeline, but wanted their interpretation. Was it doable? Did it work for them? Or would they be able to meet us where we were? The audit approach and alignment with that provided schedule. Does the audit timeline line up? The personnel plan and staffing specifics detail the actual certifications, the actual experience, and the actual people that would be providing the services, so we know who we're dealing with. The updated price proposal, we gave them an opportunity to sharpen their pencils, as well as the firm's value add. What do you bring to the PBC? We've had Deloitte for a number of years. how can you meet or exceed the expectations that Deloitte provided? And the gravitas that Deloitte brings to the PBC, how can you match that?
Mhm.
As a result, and after very careful consideration from the evaluation committee, extensive research, we are very comfortable recommending Clifton Larson Allen to the committee. They are the 8th largest accounting firm in the country. They focus, specifically have a government-focused sector for small and mid-sized municipalities and government agencies. Even better, they have an expert in public building commissions. One of their partners is actually the auditor for the Peoria and the Danville Public Building Commissions. Not only that, their proposed compensation was extremely reasonable. It was the lowest of everyone that we interviewed. And as a result, not only results in a savings from what we're currently paying, but over the course of, in the initial year alone, between, let's say, Crow and Clifton Larson Allen, we would save $31,000. That's just the first year.
Mhm.
Yet, we would be receiving the same level or higher level of service than we're currently getting from Deloitte. So I know that's a lot to take in, and I presume you have a number of questions, so I'll stop there and hopefully be able to answer your questions as they come.
I think it was a fantastic presentation. Certainly, we were looking at their minority statement on, make sure I'm,
Their cover letter, I believe you're.
Yeah.
Yes.
yes.
So the good news, Chairman, is that they are proposing a party who is somewhat familiar with the PBC. Prado and Renteria is who they propose. They've actually done work for us in the past, and they are familiar with the Public Building Commission. They also do a lot of work across the street at City Hall. So we were very, very happy to see their commitment, not only their large commitment for the professional service agreement, but the fact that they chose someone to represent them who's familiar with what we do.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, it sounds like they have a great background.
Yes.
In this area. Any other points you want to bring out? I mean, we're getting the same service at a lesser, sounds like a lesser.
Correct. And we would, again, I would recommend to you that we do what we have done in the past, which is I would propose that it be a not to exceed contract for their proposed amount, $140,000 per year for their first year. And it would be good for 3 years with 3 additional 1-year extensions. So it'd be a 6-year contract, as is tradition with the audit services agreement. So that we can review it in 3 years.
What were the reasons or reason why Deloitte decided to move on?
I don't
Just
have
curious.
actual insight into Deloitte's reasoning. Maybe the director of finance who.
The business model is changing for the government sector, and that they were going to exit the actual auditing services. So our contract has come up first, but they're also going to exit at the city as well. So when the contracts are expiring that they currently have, they will be exiting that arena, as at least that is as of their current this year's business model. And they'll be doing more of add single audit services, or I believe the consulting services for the government. So, sure, it's just purely financial driven.
Thank you. Okay.
First of all, I learned something new. I didn't know there were any other public building commissions, so it's good to know that.
Surprisingly, in Illinois, I think there's 6. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
Because of the state statute.
Correct,
When
exactly.
it was
right.
created back in the 50s,
Yeah.
it created the other public building commissions also.
Right.
Mm.
Are there similar size municipal agencies that they currently, I assume that we're bigger than the ones you mentioned as far as public building commissions, but are there similar size municipal agencies that they provide services?
So in their proposal, if you give me just a minute, I can detail them, but there are a large number of similar sized agencies that they work with regularly. So this is much bigger than us, but just off the top, They have done work for the city of Chicago, Chicago Public Schools, the Chicago Transit Authority, the City Colleges of Chicago, the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District, the Forest Preserve District of Cook County, and Cook County itself. So they're familiar with
Yes.
the
local
breadth and
governments, right.
correct. But they also have, sorry.
So it's the Danville Public Building Commission, which is smaller,
Correct.
and the Champaign Public Building Commission, which is what was unique. We didn't know either until they
Mhm.
submitted, I would say, their response, but then they have a few of the other suburban, like school districts that they're doing specifically, and that with their sub Prada and Ritorina, they had CPS and city colleges under their belt as well, so.
Yeah, the question is just more about them being, you know, that we're not gonna be too small for them or whatever, that they're gonna provide us the support we need as, you know, because, you know, we're not CPS, so it's a big one. So it sounds like they've got experience with similar size, budget-wise, organizations.
And they were a team of, like, I would say, diverse locations.
Yeah.
So we have Peoria directors and managers from all over the state
Okay.
that were presented to us as a part of the team with that commitment, so that they will be bringing in their knowledge from the specifics that were tailored towards what the Public Building Commission's needs were. So that was, I think, what set them out,
Okay.
you know, made them stand out, you know, a little more than, and of course, across the board, all of the submissions could do our
They're all-
audit.
they're
I
all
mean, it's an ACRA, and it's not as unique, but what it became about was your approach and when you did your research, did you kind of understand what the nature of our business was? And I do believe that they were the one who demonstrated it the most, that they truly understood. You know, with the team that they brought in, by breaking it down between what these different directors and managers would be responsible for, was that extra mile where they had looked at, and I think really took a deep dive into what we have on our website for our financials, and understanding that and identifying, you know, right off the onset of what our higher risk areas were. And so I think, and I know, you know, for the team and for us, that was what was important.
Okay, thank you. And I would just add, just for the record, I think there's value in changing the auditor every so often and get a fresh set of eyes on it. So, you know, Deloitte has done a great job for us for a long time, but having a new set of eyes and one that you feel good about is a good thing. So.
And I would just amend a couple of things I said. I was reading from the previous meeting that we had just had regarding listing the clients that they had worked with some of those clients, but the specific clients that they wanted us to look at when reviewing their similar sized audit service providers was the Illinois Housing Development Authority specifically for the state, the Illinois State Toll Highway Authority specifically for the state, and then the Danville and Peoria Public Building Commissions. Correct.
It's a 3-year contract, you said?
That is correct, with 3 one-year options exercisable solely at our discretion.
And do those options, I can't remember, do they have to come to the board to be exercised, or it's?
It must come to the board to be exercised,
Okay.
or that's the way we've set it up. And I
Historically,
would
yeah.
continue recommending.
Okay.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, James and Tanya, I just want to say thank you very much, and Brendan for your support. I don't think this could have gone any better, so thank you.
Yeah, great work. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Not surprised. All right. Thank you, James.
You're very welcome.
Motion to accept the report provided by the Director of
Move to
Procurement.
accept.
Second. All right, the report is accepted. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.